Your Denver Broncos just get the perfect update before week 1 matchup against the Tennessee Titans. In this video, we're going behind enemy lines and talking to the biggest Tennessee Titans creator. His name's Mark from Titan Upload Network. It is hard to not listen to him and hear the pessimism in his voice and just hear how perfect of a matchup this is for the Denver Broncos. And in this video, we break down just the obvious advantages the Denver Broncos have to give Sean Payton what he desperately wants, which is a hot start. Let's dive in. We're going behind enemy lines for the Denver Broncos week 1 opponent. We got my main man, Mark from Titan Network Upload. How you living, man? We made it through the dog days of the offseason and we're back.
Yeah, it's great. We're excited. We got Cam Ward. That's pretty much where our excitement is. We'll see how the season goes. But last year was tough, man. It was really hard on the Titans, but at least Denver had a good season.
Yeah, dude, what happened to you guys? Like, what's the root cause of that 3-14 season last season?
Well, I think it all kind of trickles back to a couple years prior when the Titans seem to be doing some good things. Vrabel, I really love him as a head coach. Patriot fans will love him. I don't care how the media feels about, him being nice and to the point. He wins. He makes the players work hard. He gains the respect. They love him. But, when Vrabel had, I think we led the league in injuries. I think we set a record for how many guys played in that season. We still ended up with a #1 seed somehow. Now, we got upset to the Bengals, and I want to go down memory row. But after that offseason, John Robinson, our GM, felt like, you know what? I can play with some house money, so I'm just going to trade our best wide receiver. We'll just trade him basically for nothing. And Treylon Burks, which literally was nothing. And from that point on, man, it just got worse and worse and worse. John Robinson gets fired in the middle of the year. The Titans were in first place. They did not win another game that year. I think they lost, 7 straight in the season. And then the next year, they thought they'd glue it together with Rand Carthon and Vrabel. That didn't work out. And then last year was Will Levis. We were told how great he was all in the preseason.
I bought so much mayonnaise, dude. Like so much. Yeah. The first game I watched because I wanted Bo Nix to be better than Caleb Williams, and I was like, yes, Caleb's gonna lose this opener. And you guys were up huge on the Bears. Weren't you up 17-0? And then they But then you beat the Patriots. You beat the Texans, who are a playoff team. So, and your defense was like phenomenal, right?
Well, I mean, stat-wise, it sounds good, right? Having a second-ranked defense, but there's some holes there. We couldn't get after the quarterback, not like you guys can. So we limited in sacks, and our #1 sack guy, which didn't even have 10, Harold Landry, he's on New England now, so we lost him. We'll see if we can fill that role with a bunch of young guys in Arden Key. But for the most part, it was turnover machine heavy. So I think we were -16. You guys were +6. How cool that would be if that was us. But honestly, -16, 30th in the league, I want to say. Bad. And then the defense was thrown in the fire. So if you look at our total stats on defense, we were second against the pass. We were second overall defense, but the scoring defense was brutal. And part of that was because of Will Levis in the offense.
Wow. Well, let's dive into your coach, because we remember him here. He was here when the Broncos won their Super Bowl, and Peyton Manning surprisingly came out and like pounded the table and said like, hey, this Callahan is a huge pickup. So that was really what surprised me most about seeing you go 3-14 was like when Peyton endorses someone, it typically hits. So what are Callahan's strengths and weaknesses, and what were your offensive strengths and weaknesses last year?
First of all, I'm going to cut that clip and put it in my preview because when Peyton Manning usually does endorse someone, I just go back to Adam Gase and what a train wreck that guy
that's
was.
A good point. Yeah.
This doesn't make me feel any better, Ben.
Yeah.
But I will say this, Callahan, he's supposed to be the quarterback guru, right? Like he's got phenomenal history when he's been a coordinator, even though he didn't call plays, or when he's a quarterback's coach. He's done great things. When he's come to Nashville, that just hasn't happened yet. It's small. It's a small size, right? I mean, Will Levis didn't work out. Mason Rudolph got worse, and that ended up so bad that the Steelers actually brought him back because he was okay with the Steelers, terrible with us. And the Steelers like, hey, we'll bring him back. And so now he's a backup for the Steelers again. But again, when you're talking about that should be a strength, the offense, it didn't live up to that last year, but it was his first year. Weaknesses like discipline. I mean, there's just so much going on at camp and guys getting fired up. And last year it was guys punching each other. This year it's, we had a Brownlee Jr. as a cornerback went up against some fans in Tampa Bay at a joint practice. That isn't ever good.
Wow, sounds like the Detroit Pistons or something, man.
Yeah, kind of to a certain degree. You had Jeffrey Simmons get pushed by Cam Ward, and then he pushes Cam Ward in the face. That ain't good. So I would say that is one of my main issues with Callahan, and we'll see if that transpires. Titan fans seem to be more hopeful than I am when it comes to that, but at the end of the day, Callahan is on the hot seat. No question about it. There's a rumor that went around. It happened in, I think, March when they fired pretty much everybody. The rumor was they wanted to fire Callahan too, but the owner, Amy Adams, said no way, no how. And he was, but you know how that goes. New GM, eventually he's probably going to have to do some great things or he's gone.
Wow. Well, so he'll be coaching for his job. So, I guess you're kind of saying that while on paper they were a great defense last season, you were saying that it didn't feel like that as you're watching it as a fan. You didn't feel like you were going to get stops when you needed to and turnovers when it mattered. Are you feeling more hopeful going into year number 2? Because we are hearing the Broncos kind of gush about some of your defenders. And part of the reason they played in the preseason was they didn't want their first snaps being up against some of those big names on your defense.
Well, in the beginning of the year, it was fine. We weren't winning games, but we were close, and we were just waiting for the disaster and the meme of Will Levis to happen. Honestly, we were, like you mentioned, the Bears game. Titans played a heck of a game.
Yeah.
There was 2 areas in that game they didn't play well. Will Levis just throwing the ball around, shouldn't have. But then special teams got a block and ended up returned for a touchdown, and that's never good. But again, the defense kind of hung on as long as they can. Ben, the issue with the Titans is going to be this, and I'll get to maybe this stuff later, but when you play the Denver Broncos in week 1, this is like one of the games where we're going to be fully healthy. That's a plus because this team doesn't have depth, and defensively we're going to have trouble getting to the pass. Our pass rush is going to be very weak this year, and that can only get weaker if guys get hurt. Secondary Snead, that is the big name. He's literally played in 5 games in his Titans career. And he's been out 11 months. He's just been back. So you know how hard that is to come back in a couple weeks. No preseason games, a couple weeks of reps, and he's going to be thrown in the fire. That's going to be an issue. Secondary, as far as safety, that seems to be a strong point. Amani Hooker, very underrated. Love that guy. He just always gets hurt, and that's kind of the sad story. And Brownlee, I mentioned him earlier. I wasn't happy with some things he did this preseason, but he is a guy that will get beat at times, but he's physical and he'll go up against the best of them. And I'm excited to see what year 2 brings for him.
Yeah, well, that'll be a great matchup for sure. I don't need to tell you, but there's no better feeling than waking up on a fall Sunday morning and knowing you have an entire day ahead of you of just watching professional football. But what if I told you you could watch every single game? Well, that's why I'm so thrilled, because thanks to the sponsor of today's video, DraftKings Sportsbook, we have the actual ultimate package to get you ready for the football season. So check this out. Right now, the DraftKings Sportsbook app deal is absolutely phenomenal. Right now, new customers who sign up and bet $5 not only get $300 in bonus bets, which is a wild, wild offer, they also get $200 off of the NFL Sunday Ticket with YouTube and YouTube TV, which is going to let you watch every game. But the only way you can get it is if you use my promo code STDenver. Just think about it. You are set with these incredible bonus bets, and then on top of that, you get $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use my promo code STDenver to get $300 in bonus bets, $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket. Have an amazing season, and as always, please gamble responsibly. So a lot of talk. Obviously, we're going to get to Cam Ward and what you liked in the preseason or didn't like, but you also tried to build up the line around him. So what moves did you make, and how confident are you about your offensive line now? Moving some players around, right, back to positions that might suit him better.
Yeah, JC Latham came in, drafted him 7. I wanted Joe Alt. That didn't happen, but JC Latham's a good guy. I have no issues with him. He said he was ecstatic in SiriusXM to move to the right side. So that just tells me he's, he didn't like playing that left side as much as some people thought he could just easily move over. But the right tackle position, you mentioned this earlier about what happened to the Titans. That's part of the issue. They just couldn't figure out the right tackle. They kept plugging and playing guys that were brutal. Andre Dillard. Oh my goodness, that guy was brutal for sure. We just got rid of a guy in Jalen Duncan. Nick Petit-Frere was terrible. And they just couldn't find a solution at right tackle. And you can't play in the league if you don't have a right tackle. So you move JC to right. You bring in Dan Moore from the Steelers. Yeah, we overpaid him. But Steeler fans will tell you like he's not terrible. So that for our account, that's going to help. But one of the underrated moves they made is they brought in the veteran from the Lions and Zeitler to play right guard. That should definitely help the interior, give Cam Ward a little extra time. But Cushenberry, you guys know about him.
Oh, we know Cushenberry. Yeah, he dropped off a cliff out, like, because I was looking at his PFF score and his win block percentage rate. They all dropped. Like, his best year was his last year with us.
Yeah, and he got hurt last year, and it takes time for these guys to move to another team and gel with the new 4 guys around him. But he's just finally got back maybe a month ago, if that. So again, I would assume he's going to play. If not, Corey Levin will get the go. I would assume if they bring him up, he's a guy they keep cutting and then bringing back. So nobody wants Corey Levin, but he's not terrible for us. So regardless, I'm way more confident on our offensive line. Let's just hope they can produce this year.
Yeah. So overall with that matchup, how are you feeling week 1 coming in, a team that sacked the quarterback 63 times last season? Do you think you did what it takes at the offensive line at least to give Cam Ward some protection, or are you pretty nervous about it?
Well, that's not what I'm nervous about. I'm actually more nervous about the defense and if they're going to be able to hold up. Again, I know when I look at you guys and break you guys down, offensively, I'm assuming you're going to tell me that the Broncos are done some things. I love Pat Bryant, by the way, UFI fan here.
Dude,
but I see some reasons of optimism for you guys. Bo Nix, second year, all that kind of stuff. But when it comes to the Titans offensive line, that does kind of scare me with your defense up front and how many guys got double-digit sacks, and it's very impressive. But week 1, you don't know Cam Ward. You don't know you. Anything can happen in week 1, so that gives me a little bit of hope and optimism.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about Cam Ward. So I was surprised to see him only take 19 attempts throwing the ball. How did your fan base react to such limited preseason action where Sean threw Bo Nix in year 2 threw more than Cam did, and year 1 definitely threw way more in the preseason? Do you think that's the right strategy? And then of the throws you saw, how did you feel about it all?
Well, this is a tough one because if you go by certain people in the media or just your eye watching it just as a fan, it's like, okay, you see some things that stand out. But I'll give you an example. Week 2, we played the Falcons. They had joint practices week 1 against the Bucs. I know you get way more out of joint practice.
Oh, totally.
And then week 2 against the Falcons. So we got a lot. We didn't get to see it per se, but definitely a lot there. But when they played the preseason game number 2 and number 1, to be honest, and number 3, he's faced backups. He's played second, third teamers. But my point is, when it comes to Cam Ward, you just saw him not taking the checkdowns. He was more focused down the field because obviously he's probably working, I would think. He's trying to see what he can see in the game and get away with. And that's the way I took it as a fan. But some of these guys, man, that break down quarterbacks like Kurt Warner, for example, they stuck their neck out for Cam Ward and were like, hey, we know he didn't complete a lot of passes, but there are some things that show that he's going to be special. So I'm really holding out some hope with that. But the leadership quality, him waking up at 5 a.m. and getting to the practice facility, how he's built the team around him already as a rookie. He's definitely been phenomenal in his 3 college stops. I don't think anybody can question that. The issue you're going to get into Cam Ward is, did they do enough around him weapon-wise? I'm excited about Pollard. I like Tony Pollard. I know he's had some ups and downs over his career. But the wide receivers, I'm telling you right now, Calvin Ridley, he's going to be a stud this year. And it's not a great matchup for him week 1. I know that. But other than Calvin Ridley, I mean, Lockett's older. Van Jefferson, I mean, he had a good week 3, but he's nothing special. And then a bunch of young guys. Alec Eilmanor, a lot of Titan fans are hoping can overcome some defaults from last year and step into a role. But again, he's a guy drafted in the 4th round. You guys drafted Brian. Did you draft Brian in the 3rd round?
Yep. And everyone thought, yeah, he should have been in the 6th. And now you're seeing like, oh yeah, he's at least a 3rd round wide. Like he looks great.
Yeah. But that's my point. Like you got a 3rd round guy coming in. You guys are very optimistic. I mean, we're, I guess, optimistic around a 4th rounder, but it's no guarantee it's going to work. So we'll have to see how this thing unfolds. And again, I just hope they did enough around Cam Ward. Especially he's going to get every start unless he gets hurt. So hopefully they don't put him in a tough spot, especially week 1, but we'll see what happens.
Well, we followed all of the Shedeur and Cam Ward stuff. And I think Shedeur is going to be a starting quarterback in the NFL still. I think he's very good. Yet when you watched him and Cam, especially when they were putting out those joint social media posts, Cam is way more serious about the game. And I think that's what Shedeur needs. And just Cam like saying like, I don't make rap albums. I'm a quarterback. That's what I care about. So I think he does have it right between the ears. But like we saw last season with Bo Nix going into Seattle and then the Steelers, it's a tough sledding to succeed as a rookie quarterback. And I think going to the Mile High City will be a tough first draw for him. Yeah,
for sure. But somehow, some way, again, week 1's crazy. It is. I mean, what are we, 8-point underdogs? I've seen worse.
Biggest line in the league. How do you feel about that?
Well, now that you put it that way, but we've been in some tough lines. Let me tell you that. And again, week 1, the team's optimistic. Cam Ward doesn't know any better. That would be one thing I would, if I was a Denver fan, and I think you probably look at the Titans like, hey, this team's 3 wins and the rookie quarterback. Good luck. We got the best coach in the world. But I'm telling you, Cam Ward, they don't know any better. So they're just going to follow him in and give it their best effort.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, man, that is the part that truly scares me because we saw that on the schedule. Like, good, we need to start hot this year at home. Mile high advantage, playing at altitude, a rookie quarterback. They don't do well in their first start usually. But yeah, you're right. He's playing with house money and he doesn't know any different. He's going to go in there with all the confidence in the world that he was a number 1 overall pick. And crazier things have happened. What's your score prediction for this?
I don't have a score prediction. And every time I pick something, it doesn't work out. So I could pick Denver, but honestly, I got the Titans somehow winning 9 games this year. And this is one of the games I got them squeaking by. I know, call me crazy. I don't really have a bunch of reasoning for it other than week 1 craziness happens. I'm going to give you a quick stat. 2014, we went in, I want to say double point underdogs against Kansas City. It's Ken Wisenhunt's year. And all of a sudden the Titans go in and play one of their best games of the year. You know how many games they won that year, Ben? 2014?
No, I don't remember.
They won one other game other than week 1. They won 2 games the whole year. 2-14. That's my point. Anything can happen week 1. And I'm honestly, the Titans are going to be in their best shape. They are all year. So I might as well roll with them in week 1.
Absolutely, man. Well, thank you so much for popping on, dude. And I wish you the best of luck the rest of the season.
Hey, you too. Again, real quick, my wife, her father passed away when she was a senior in high school, but huge Denver Bronco fan. So she's got some Denver Bronco stuff. She's got the Elway jersey, and I believe she's going to roll it out in week 1. So don't tell Titan fans that one, but it is kind of I will just be honest with you. This game is never an easy game to play the Denver Broncos because you just never know what kind of emotions you'll get out and the memories and all that stuff. But good luck to the rest of the year.
That's awesome, man. Well, glad she's a part of Broncos country.
Yeah.
Your Denver Broncos are about to mollywop the Tennessee Titans, and that's something we can all believe in. Ball don't lie.